I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, March the 14th, 2016. 4 IDF soldiers were lightly injured this morning in the West Bank. The incident took place at the Elias Junction just outside the Jewish settlement of Kiryat Arba, when 2 Palestinians rammed their vehicle into a hitchhiking post there and then exited the vehicle and opened fire at the soldiers. 1 soldier was hit and lightly wounded. Fellow soldiers fired back at the terrorists and killed them. Moments later, another Palestinian driver rammed into soldiers at the same location, lightly injuring one of them. That driver was shot and killed. 2 other IDF soldiers were very lightly hurt by shrapnel during the attacks. 4 rockets were launched at Israel Friday night from Gaza. All landed in an open area near Sderot in IsraelSouth, and no injuries or damage was reported. Israel's Air Force retaliated for the rockets, striking Hamas terror targets in Gaza overnight. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated that any and all rockets coming from Gaza were the responsibility of Hamas, and that the IDF would respond to any such provocations. Netanyahu told his weekly cabinet meeting yesterday Israel holds Hamas responsible for all firing carried out from the Gaza Strip toward Israel. Hamas must prevent such firing. Hamas's health ministry said that 2 Palestinian children were killed in the retaliatory strikes by the IAF. The IDF did not comment on that report, saying the airstrikes were directed at the Hamas terror infrastructure. The conference of the Inter-Parliamentary Coalition for Combating Anti-Semitism began yesterday in Berlin. Over 100 parliamentarians from dozens of countries attended the 3rd annual 3-day conference, which is addressing the rise of global anti-Semitism in general and looking at specific issues such as the use of the internet to spread hate. German Chancellor Angela Merkel spoke to the conference participants today. Other speakers will include German Foreign Minister Dr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, Director General of UNESCO Irina Bokova, and European Union Commissioner and First Vice President Franz Timmermans. Director General of Israel's Foreign Ministry, Dori Gold, returned to Israel yesterday after a 3-day visit to South Africa, made in hopes of improving cooperation with the Republic. During his visit, the Times of Israel reports that Gold met with Director General of South Africa's Foreign Ministry, Jerry Matjila, in Pretoria, among others, and agreements were made to strengthen cooperation in areas like water management, agriculture, and technology. Relations between South Africa and Israel have been very difficult for years over South Africa's harsh criticism of Israel's policies towards the Palestinians. And Gold was the first Director General of the Foreign Ministry to visit South Africa in a decade. He called the meetings, quote, an important start to a better relationship. The American Jewish Committee is hosting several African Muslim religious leaders in Jerusalem this week, in cooperation with Israel's Foreign Ministry. Religious leaders attending include those of Cameroon, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, and Zambia. AJC's International Director of Interreligious Affairs, Rabbi David Rosen, said AJC has a unique record of building relationships with other faith communities around the world, as well as advocating for Israel. He said it was very important to reach out to the wider Muslim world and enable these leaders to get first-hand knowledge of Israel and the Jewish people. The Jewish Agency is looking for volunteers to serve in developing areas of the world, including in Africa, as part of their 10 program. 10 means give in Hebrew. The volunteers will work with local communities in Ghana and Ethiopia, as well as in Mexico. Project manager Jordan Zornberg said that the 10 staff hopes to open 2 additional volunteer centers this year in Durban, South Africa, to serve the tribal regions in the country, and in Cusco, Peru. Peru and South America in general is a common destination for Israelis after they complete their army service, and the center will enable these backpackers to incorporate volunteer work with their travels. Jewish Agency Chairperson Natan Sharansky said the volunteer centers give young people from Jewish communities and Israel the opportunity to work together towards a better world and take part in something bigger. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS from Monday, March the 14th. At 7:15, Matt Nasanchuk, who is an associate director at the White House, talks about his unique perspective from the 2015 Jewish Federations of North America's General Assembly in Washington. At 8 tonight, Chancellor of the Jewish Theological Seminary, Dr. Arnold Eisen, discusses the pioneering work of Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel and his influence on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's from JBS's exclusive TV coverage of Limud, New York 2016 from Stamford, Connecticut. At 9 o'clock, Mark Golub sits down with Rabbi Mark Angel, who is Rabbi Emeritus of the Spanish-Portuguese Synagogue, Congregation Sharith Israel in New York City, and the founding director of the Institute for Jewish Ideas and Ideals. Angel offers his analysis of Jewish life today. At 10 tonight, best-selling author Malcolm Gladwell speaks at the 92nd Street Y. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, Election 2016. And that's the JBS News Update from Monday, March the 14th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.